In January 2026, a certified aircraft mechanic released a receipt exposing the industry's most expensive lie. Why does fixing a fridge in a plywood box cost 50% more than servicing a turbine engine at 30,000 feet? We are exposing the financial absurdity destroying your wallet. If you see a $189 per hour labor rate, you assume you are hiring elite engineers. That is an illusion. The reality is you are paying neurosurgeon prices for entry-level work. While aviation mechanics charge $125 an hour to follow strict FAA checklists, RV dealers charge $189 for technicians who are essentially guessing. The problem lies behind the walls in the rat's nest. Unlike aviation's labeled schematics, RV techs fight through tangled, stapled wires. You are not paying for skill. You are paying for the time it takes to diagnose the manufacturer's negligence. In aviation, efficiency is standard. In the RV industry, confusion is a billable hour. I want to audit the rates in your area. Have you seen a repair bill that defied logic? Drop a comment below with your state and the labor rate you were quoted. Let's map this inflation. To understand why you are being robbed, you simply need to compare the paperwork. In aviation, every component comes with FAA Form 8130-3, a birth certificate that traces its metallurgy back to the smelter, ensuring that a 0.001-inch deviation triggers an immediate federal investigation. Because the documentation is flawless, the diagnosis is instant. However, when you cross the street to the RV dealership, you are entering a zone of manufacturing anarchy where the only law is speed. There are no standardized wiring schematics for your vehicle because the unit was not built by engineers. It was assembled by transient workers on piece rate pay. These workers are incentivized solely by volume, meaning if they stop to route a wire correctly, they lose money. Consequently, we see critical electrical harnesses stapled directly through the center of the insulation and shoved blindly into wall cavities. This creates a billing nightmare known as the archaeological excavation. When your lights fail, the technician cannot consult a manual because the manual does not exist. He has to physically tear apart your walls to find where a worker rushing to meet a daily quota might have spliced 14-gauge copper directly into 18-gauge aluminum, a chemical time bomb hidden behind the shower stall. You are not paying the $189 hourly rate for his skill. When you are paying for the 4.5 hours he spends reverse engineering a rat's nest of unlabeled wires that were installed in 30 seconds. The industry has successfully shifted the financial burden of their own chaotic assembly lines directly onto your service invoice, charging you premium rates to fix defects that were built in by design. The discrepancy in labor rates is not just about bureaucracy. It is about the physics of accountability. When an aircraft mechanic signs off on a repair, they are legally attaching their name to that airframe forever. If a fuel line vibrates loose at 10,000 feet, the National Transportation Safety Board does not just call it an accident. They reconstruct the wreckage to find the specific torque value applied to that nut. This potential for criminal negligence forces the aviation industry to use materials that are chemically engineered to survive. They use vibration-dampened ADOL clamps and military specification crimp connectors that actually tighten under stress. In contrast, the RV industry operates with zero structural liability. We have dissected wall panels in luxury units to find the electrical system held together by residential-grade wire nuts, those plastic twist-on caps designed for a house sitting on a static concrete foundation. When you drive down the highway, your RV is effectively experiencing a magnitude 4.0 earthquake for hours at a time. Under this constant seismic vibration, those plastic caps inevitably unscrew themselves, leading to arcing and fire. Yet, when you bring this charred mess to the dealer, they do not face a National Transportation Safety Board investigation. They simply hand you a bill for diagnosis time. You are paying premium rates for a technician to replace a $0.02 plastic cap that never should have been installed in a moving vehicle in the first place. The aviation mechanic charges you for safety. The RV dealership charges you for the inevitable failure of using self-tapping screws to hold a vibrating frame together. One industry fights gravity, the other fights its own customers. I know the defense the dealership service manager will give you because it is the same script they have been reciting for 20 years to justify their invoices. They will look you in the eye and tell you that an RV is a rolling earthquake. That is a physics argument that collapses the moment you check an altimeter. A pressurized aircraft fuselage endures thermal cycling from 100 degrees on the tarmac to -60 degrees at cruising altitude in less than 20 minutes. It expands and contracts with every flight cycle, subjecting its fasteners to G-forces that would disintegrate a travel trailer. Yet the overhead bins in a commercial jet do not fall off mid-flight because they are installed with thread lockers, not staples. The harsh environment is not the problem. The lack of engineering is. Here is the final entry in the auditor's ledger. When you pay $125 an hour for aviation maintenance, you are buying a guarantee of safety enforced by federal law. When you pay $189 at an RV dealership, you are merely funding the manufacturer's lack of quality control. You are paying a premium for legalized incompetence. Do not let them use your bank account to subsidize their engineering failures. Stop looking at the price tag and start demanding the spec sheet. I want to see the evidence. Post your most outrageous repair quote below. Let's expose the price gouging together.